Hello, this is Victoria Violet, and I'm going to be using the Celtic Tarot. Okay, it's really beautiful. I can't shuffle that great because while I was out working, I jammed my finger to the point that it hurts to put pressure or weight on it. So I am going to shuffle in front of you guys, but it's going to take me a minute. So if you want to fast forward, please, by all means, because I kind of have to use my finger a little gently because every time I go to extend it or put weight on it, it hurts. I mean, I probably have a good sprain now that I look at it, because it is swollen. But oh well. I wasn't in my body right. I wasn't well seated in my body. I know that because of the way it happened. So anyway, what we're going to be doing is looking to see what Odin has to tell us, the god Odin. And you know, when I use all these other names of gods and goddesses with their different attributes, because I do love mythology, but really the way I feel, guys, honest to goodness, deep inside of me, even though I'm a pagan Christian, I feel it's the same God. It just has a different name. You know, we can't, my philosophies, okay? My philosophies, it's not up for debate. My philosophy is this way. If I live in Ireland and you live in Mexico, we may not call God the same thing because our languages are different, right? Or maybe that's not even a good example. Okay, I live in Russia, you live in Mexico. Okay, it's not the same language, so I may not call God by the name that you call Creator. Okay, but that doesn't mean it's not the same God. Those are my philosophies. That's why I can say Odin with ease of tongue, because for me it's the same thing. For me, it's not the Norse god as he's known isn't any different from the God of creation or the God of the Christian Bible. To me, it's God. It's God. It's Creator. Period. End of story for me. You can think about it, or you can discuss, you know, however you feel, however you see fit. If you only see as a Christian God's the only name you want to know God by, then you know, that's fine. Yahweh, Yehweh, the great I am, whatever you want to call, you know, the great spirit, like our Native Americans call God, Creator, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. I'm not here to change your mind. Woo! Like I said, having trouble gripping with my thumb. So for those that think you don't need your opposable thumb, you do. You do. Okay? You do. But yeah, so let's see what Odin has to tell us. What's coming for our Libra collective. And let's see which way. I won't title this video until I see what they're telling us. Hopefully it's not another love story, but I'm not going to say it is. I'm not going to say it's not until we get the story, the theme, the storyline, and then I can tell. Okay, so we're going to do 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom. Let me lay them out. I can already tell you it's probably going to be a little bit of love mixed in here. Let's see. I finally got the stuff on my table, but you know, I'm not sure if any of y'all remember. Oh, that hurts. Me mentioning I should have taken the aspirin. Forgot. And I can't put this on pause. YouTube doesn't have a pause button, by the way. Not when you're filming a long video. You have to use your own camera, obviously. But what I had said was I had fixed my table finally, and now I fixed my table, and I left myself with a smidgen of room, but I think I can safely lay down 9, but the 10th one is like there's stuff that needs to be moved, so I'm gonna do my best. I will say this, even when I'm at work, because I think I mentioned that in one of the videos, even when I'm at my regular job, meaning what I do to make a living normally, I have a regular sized desk and I'm still always running out of room. So I'm one of those people that likes to organize things. So when you guys were able to see the curtains and able to see the kitchen and it was irking me to no end. And right now you can't even see how nicely I decorated the table because there's something behind me that's for the electrical. I'm renting right now, so I have to work with what I have. Pardon me. And I didn't get to go to storage so that I could get the box that has all my tapestries. That case in point, I literally just touched my athame, and my athame literally struck the card, and the card messed up everything that I just laid out. So I'll lay them out again as I'm speaking. But the tapestries that I have inside of my storage unit, most of them are for sale. They're not stuff I normally use on the walls to set up, like, you know, my table area or anything like that. But I don't see why I can't. And then as I go using them, depending on how we grow, right? How we grow as a channel here, maybe I will gift some of the tapestries as we go through the, you know, through the month of, we're going to say June. So we'll start now, right? As soon as I get my tapestries up, and we'll go all the way through the month of June. And then, depending on my subscribers and your beautiful comments and everything else, if I find that I've got, you know, subscribers that are wanting, you know, to have that particular tapestry behind me, then I will gift that to you. And yeah, we'll go that way. So I will keep y'all posted as soon as I find my box. Because as I believe I told you guys, I used to own a botanica, a metaphysical a metaphysical store where I sold, you know, many things like my crystals, right? These are my babies, my tools. But I sold, you know, crystals there, statuettes, my Ganesha, love my Ganesha, you know, athames, you know, things that you need to cleanse yourself and bring in good luck. You know, and I have a ton of tarot cards that are, of course, still in the boxes because they were for retail. And my issue is because I either like, you know, the artistry of the cards or the box or whatever, I tend to keep a lot of them for myself, and that's because of the fact that they're so beautiful that they attract me. Sorry, but my allergies are out of control right now, and I just took Benadryl, so it should have calmed them down. I have welts. I don't know if you can see them, but I have welts on my arms and my legs. Whatever's out there is kind of like my kryptonite right now. Anyway, so we'll carry on. But yeah, just to let you know, in the future, I will go ahead and hang the the tapestry. I don't even know what was about to come out of my mouth. I'll hang the tapestry behind me, and then yeah, you know, as we go along through the month of June, at the end of June, we'll figure out who it is that'll win that tapestry. And I brought him home from India, of course, but a story for another day. But we will also be going through maybe gods and goddesses prior to the tarot, and you know, the message, and see how they connect. Because some cultures call, again, you know, their gods or their form of God, what they call it, And I say it because, I mean, for me personally, God is a male, female, all in one, androgynous. And also for us in general, our spirit is for the most part androgynous. Although for me, as I stated in a video that's loading right now, why you are maybe not comfortable in your body that you were born with. For me, the best way to describe is that our spirits are androgynous. Sorry, there's a lot of glare, and I just noticed that. Our spirits are androgynous, and because our spirits are androgynous, sometimes we can feel like both, and that's what true binary is. I'm gonna say that again. Our souls in general, metaphysically speaking, spiritually speaking, our souls in general are androgynous. They're neither male, they're neither female, because we, as you hear in the tarot being explained to you, especially the last 3 years on YouTube, that's why you hear a lot of us having to over explain the tarot to you. It kind of gets cumbersome, by the way. I'd rather just read the way that it was meant and intended to read, and not to have to be so overly politically correct about everybody's feelings out there. The tarot has nothing to do with you deciding that you don't want to be a female or you don't want to be a male anymore, by the way. But we do try to accommodate, but it does become cumbersome when you're trying to be overly inclusive, because again, it's not the tarot's fault that it's painted as a female on the card, and the attributes and characteristics of that card happen to be female. But on another note, it is androgynous, so it's neither male, it's neither female. That's why when you're incarnated, again, in the opinion of the metaphysical and the spiritual community, that's why when you're born, you can be born either or. I feel for myself personally that although I can be masculine in trait, in character, when I need to be, like I had to move a bed this weekend and I had to get it on the top of my vehicle because I don't own a truck right now. I own an SUV. So yeah, I'm sorry, but it was rigged on top of my vehicle. I had to make sure that it was tight and bound, and I had to buy bungees to make sure that it wasn't going to fly off traveling the 12 miles that I had to travel. Okay? So that doesn't mean that I want to be a male. Doesn't mean that I think I should own, another body part below. It just means that at times I can take on the attributes of a masculine. When I'm in my logical state, like I am right now, for example, I can take on the traits of a masculine if I need to. But that's short-lived. There's got to be a balance. And we'll get into that in another video, because males also have to have a balance of sorts where that's concerned. But we'll talk about that another time. It is just food for thought. So back to the reading. This is going to be an emotional one, but not that emotional. Okay? Cross watchers, I love you here at Gypsy Roots. My name is Victoria Violet, and I'm at your service too. Reason I say that, guys, is because if I happen to be with someone, which obviously I'm not at present, but if I were and we have disagreements, if friends were going to get involved or family members, which they often do without anyone asking for advice, I would hope that they'd give mutual, neutral advice and not one-sided, because the one-sided advice is always leave them, they're no good for you, those SOBs, or that BITCH doesn't deserve you. So I try to remain as neutral as I can, but you're welcome here, cross-watcher, because again, as I always say, if you're hurting or harming or doing something against the Libra that you're loving or that you're wanting to be in relations with, then maybe you will find this and it will help you to get into their good graces on the positive and stay there. So again, on with the show. So the first thing that we have here, and I'm gonna read all the cards out because that's what I like to do, is otherwise I have to pick them all up, and I don't have fancy equipment right now to where you can see as they're laid out. Okay, first thing that we come up with is the Four of Cups. The second card on that layout is the Strength card. The third one is the Princess of Swords. And then we get the Sun card, and then we get the Ace of Wands. Sorry, I had to do that. Then we get on our second lay, okay, because I do two layers for this, 2-tier. And it is the Five of Swords. It's the Death card. It's the Prince of Swords. And it's the Six of Wands. And it's the High Priestess. Okay, so let's get started. The Four of Cups is a feeling that I'm getting, like someone that's like, here we go again, or I'm so bored, or this subject again. And it is in relation to love. Okay, Four of Cups in this instance is in relation to love. So again, remember I said I wasn't going to, call it until I saw the cards. Well, the cards, the way that they're laying, the way that things are coming out, it does look like it's in a love reading. So if you are in relation with someone and you're not having the luck that you want, or you're not seeing the movement forward that you'd like to see, it's okay. Take a deep breath. It'll be okay. The next thing to do with that is the Strength card. So the Strength card coupled with the Four of Cups may be saying something like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. This is overwhelming at times. It's overwhelming. And I have to, have an inner resolve about me in order to deal with this situation. Okay? So that's what the Strength card is saying. That's what it's saying. This is a page. This is not a knight, because it's the Princess and it's not the Prince of Swords. Okay? Okay? So it's a page. Okay? Our Page of Swords is saying, okay, in this aspect, it's not sitting here combative. Okay? Do you see the aura of the yellow that's around the princess's head and the sword? So for me, what this sword is saying is like a eureka moment. Like, oh, I understand. I get it. Okay? Reason I'm saying that is because the very next card is the Sun card. It's the Sun card. Do you not see the aura around the head of the child? Okay. So again, maybe this, and again, I apologize the way I have to grip them, but my thumb is killing me. And I'm going to take aspirin as soon as we're done. But do you see how in the beginning, this individual is like, oh, this is too much, this is too much, this is too much. But then something happens after they take a deep breath and they finally realize, they have a realization. This is the sword of truth. This is just being told to me in truth. And they're enlightened. Why I can say that is because the Sun, the child that's coming out, is also having the same type of revelation and the same type of aura around their crown chakra. So if you have the illumination around the crown chakra, what is that saying? That's saying that spiritually you finally got an aha moment, an epiphany, or you came to the understanding of what maybe somebody was trying to say, or why they were doing or acting the way they were. Okay? Here's where it gets really nice. And I mean really, really nice. Because you go from somebody that's like, oh God, not again, to, okay, I'm going to try to be strong here. I'm going to try to tough this out and be strong here. It's a boar. Boars are what? They're pigs. What are pigs? Pig-headed. What are pig-headed people? Stubborn. All right. So here we go. Not only does the Sun have an aura around the child's head, but it's again like being renewed or being reborn, right? Because we're not thinking the same way, we're not reacting the same way. Horse is gorgeous. But now we went from the Princess of Swords with the Sword of Enlightenment, Sword of Truth. Makes me feel happy. Things are turning around. The Child is a new way of seeing things, a new way of reacting, a new way of doing. Dun, dun, dun. And then we went from the Sun card to actually seeing the sun. And it's an Ace of Wands. So even if you feel like this relationship is not moving forward, it is. Oh, give it a chance. Because see that gallop? And then it turns into a full stride. Because here comes the sun. So the sun and the sun. How much more can you get out of this? How much more can you get out of this? Okay? How much more? There's an enlightenment going on here. Now, someone still feels defensive. Someone still feels defensive. Someone still feels like maybe the Libra is argumentative or bringing about like, I won. Like if it was an argument or it was a verbal meeting of words. Words can feel like daggers, like swords, right? Depending on how we project the conversation, how it's delivered, how our words are delivered, they can feel like swords coming at us, like daggers. So that person in the receiving mode can feel deflated, can feel like, I can't believe, they talk to me that way. It's not meant that way. It's meant to provoke a change. The death is a change. Remember, this is not the Ten of Swords. The Death card does not necessarily ever mean an actual person dying. It just means that something has to die. Something that's not working anymore, something that's not feeling good anymore, something that's not helping anymore, something that's not worthy anymore, something that was meant to end because the road ended. The only way for something not to end in that capacity is you literally have to build more road as you're going. But if no more road is built, then yeah, that has come to an end. Now, this person, Libra, that you're dealing with can always come back at you and want to throw what they believe is their sword of truth. But as you see in both cards, it's out of spite or anger or hurt or disappointment. It's not meant primarily to get back. It's almost like a wounding within themselves and within their heart, because perhaps what you had to state hurt to them. It was a hurt, but it wasn't intentional. I can see through all the cards on the top layer that whatever you had to say to this individual, it was not meant to hurt. It was meant to just let them know there's a new way of life happening, and certain things must therefore pass away. They don't have a choice but to pass away, because that part of the journey is over. There's a severance. So in that instance, yeah, we can say that that's you, Libra, saying that's done. We're done. But there's still swords down there. Just because they have all the swords, that doesn't mean that they had to take all the swords necessarily and say there's not a renewal. It's just that they're saying, okay, that part of the argument, that part of our life, that part of the situation, it's done. It's done. We cannot go back to that. It's done. Okay? But then that puts the person on the other side on guard, puts them on guard. Because like I said, now they think, hey, I have my own sword. I have my own sword, and I'm going to present my sword too. I have something to say too. Okay, we'll say it. It's okay. Both people can have a say if it's a healthy type of conversation, to where everybody has their view, airs their views in a positive, meaning it doesn't come to blows. It doesn't mean people start spewing hate, anger, bad words towards each other. You have your say. Now, let me tell you something. This same person that has a feeling like, can't believe you just told me off, which they're getting wrong. It's not a telling off. It's just, again, I'm going to restate this. It's just me saying a new way of life, because we saw the sword of truth. We saw the sun. We saw the Ace of Wands with the sun. There's no turning back. There's no going back to whatever was yesterday, because now this has to end. Maybe it just wasn't healthy for either party. So that part had to end. There's no reason to feel or be defensive. And if you allow the change, look at the beauty. The Six of Wands comes out. I believe, because I always talk about this particular card in all the readings that I get this card, I always talk about the Six of Wands. And the reason is because, as you see, it's like a general or a king's homecoming. See how there are people behind and cheering? Yes, it's a homecoming. So after this conversation, yes, we do see the sun coming out. We do. Sometimes difficult conversations that are not, pick this up gently, difficult conversations that you've got to be strong to have. Gotta be strong to have. Difficult conversations. Okay? Sometimes if you have enough courage to have those difficult conversations that should have been had years ago, even, look what we get. We get the enlightenment, because we know we're going in the right direction, that our thought patterns are finally telling us, okay, yeah, you're right. You're going the right direction. You're right. Go forward. Let something in. Let it die. The way it's going is not working. Let it die. You get enlightened, and God illuminates your path and says, you're going in the right direction. Let it die. That doesn't mean the relationship has to die. But if people are not having a meeting of the minds, if people's needs are not getting met, or if people are not seeing or hearing each other, you have a right to voice whatever you need to get off your chest. And the other person has a right to voice whatever they have a necessity to get off their chest, so long as it's done with mutual respect, right? But look, after all that change comes, when you allow the change to come, you get the Six of Wands. You get a gathering, a celebration, the homecoming. It becomes a much more beautiful atmosphere. So then the two can have a better relationship, because when you understand each other, it's not one-sided anymore. But what's to come is hidden. Okay? Why is it hidden? Because, baby, it takes two. It takes two. It's not just one person. She's got two arms up. It's not just one person in this relationship. It's two people in this relationship. And until the two people have a discernment about the fact that there's two people, and two people have to feel fulfilled, two people have to feel listened to, and two people have to get something out of the relationship that's healthy for them, then it's not going to work. So if